I know this district is a battleground district, as you said. Currently, it belongs to a Republican, but that Republican has disappointed a lot of people. He's very embattled. So I am curious, what is your pitch to the constituents in Long Island District 3 to say, hey, no, a Republican still needs to hold this seat?
Absolutely. The biggest question coming into 2023 was, could Republicans hold Biden won districts that we captured in 2022? Could we continue to hold those? And we just had local elections here a few Tuesdays ago, and we demonstrated that. We won bellwether districts that we knew were going to be critical to sending a signal on whether or not we could be successful in 2024. And so we demonstrated that. We held local elections here, and we completely wiped the board with Democrats. So folks are still very much excited about voting for Republicans. They believe that we're the best party to fix the border, to get the economy back on track. And I look forward to leaning into those issues once we get into the heat of the battle in 2024.
I do want to talk about the border in just a moment, because you mentioned that when a member of Congress from Texas actually endorsed you. But I do have a few more questions on George Santos. Him saying he won't seek re-election comes after a House Ethics Committee report found he, quote, blatantly stole from his campaign. And he allegedly used donor funds for things like Botox and OnlyFans. When you hear these things, what's your response?
Well, for quite some time, the whole George Santos story has become more of a media fascination. So quite frankly, here on the ground, we're over it. We're done talking about it. We're ready to move on. We're ready to talk about issues that matter, and not so much on what George Santos was spending his money on. So we remain focused on what we need to do to move our communities forward on the issues that I just mentioned, and we're excited about that future.
He hasn't been expelled yet. He has not resigned yet. And in part of his statement, he said this: I will continue on my mission to serve my constituents up until I am allowed. Do you think he can still adequately serve those constituents?
Well, if you think about it, he never has. He was sworn in with this cloud over his head, and he's been existing there for that entire time. That cloud has not moved. It's only gotten more and more intense. And so we are focused once again on replacing George Santos. I believe I'm the right candidate to make sure that we can be successful in this campaign. Everything about my background aligns with the concerns of the district. We have to have a dynamic campaign and candidacy. We've been building that campaign, and I look forward to winning this seat for Republicans and for the country and for our communities in 2024.
As of now, he hasn't resigned. Do you call on him to resign, A? And B, let's say he does not resign, do you think Congress should expel him immediately?
I think the right thing to do would be for him to resign. Obviously, nothing is getting done. The issues that we care about in this community, from SALT to advocating strongly for Israel and what's going on with Hamas in the Middle East, he's not able to do any of that. So the best thing to do for him, for the country, for this district, is to move on. Whether that comes through a resignation or an expulsion vote, it doesn't really matter to us here on the ground. We just want him gone.